Welcome to our new video. If you are new here, don't forget to subscribe and press the bell icon. Today, we are diving into a mysterious world, a world where one tiny creature can stop predators in their tracks. Calm, slow, almost cute, but hiding a secret so deadly, it can change life and death in seconds. Stay with us, because what you're about to see will surprise you.
Beneath the calm surface, the reef awakens slowly. Tiny fish weave between coral branches, unaware or perhaps unbothered. Everything looks peaceful, almost ordinary. But look closer. Can you spot the patterns? The rules that every fish in this watery city obeys. There's one creature that moves differently, not faster, not stronger, but somehow almost untouchable. Its secret lies not in speed or teeth, but in something far stranger.
Meet the pufferfish. Small, round, innocent looking. At first glance, it seems harmless. It drifts slowly, adjusting its fins like it's floating without care. But don't be fooled. Beneath that calm exterior lies a defense so powerful, so unique, that predators hesitate, sometimes for the last time. What does it do? And why do other fish respect it without fear? You're about to find out. Notice how it moves. Gentle flicks of its fins, almost deliberate. No rush, no chase. But imagine you're a predator. You see a pufferfish, slow, awkward, easy to catch. You might think an easy meal. But as you approach, something strange happens. The puffer hesitates, almost as if it's waiting. And then, if you cross a certain line, it transforms. A harmless puff becomes something else entirely, something larger, something sharp. And that's only the beginning of its secret weapon. When threatened, the pufferfish inflates, not suddenly, but with precision. Water rushes into its body, muscles stretch, spines rise, turning soft skin into a bristling sphere. Predators stop, confused, unsure. It's not just a bluff, it's real. And the real danger? It's hidden within its tissues, a toxin so potent it can paralyze, stop movement, and end life silently. One bite, and the predator learns a lesson it won't forget. Tetrodotoxin, a name that sounds mysterious, and it is. This poison doesn't burn, bite, or sting. It shuts down communication inside the body. Nerves stop sending signals, muscles stop moving, and the predator completely immobilized. Sometimes death comes silently, without struggle, without blood. Even the smartest, fastest hunter is powerless. And here's the twist. The puffer doesn't make the toxin itself. It accumulates it from the food it eats, a chemical armor grown from the reef itself. Predators quickly learn to respect the pufferfish. One painful encounter, and a fish will remember its shape, its slow swim, its spikes. Avoidance becomes instinct. The puffer doesn't chase, doesn't fight. Its presence alone reshapes the reef. Other fish adjust. Predators avoid certain paths. Smaller fish move closer for safety. All because one small fish carries a secret so powerful, it silently commands the ecosystem. This is evolution at work, in slow motion, yet devastatingly effective. Not all puffers are equal. Some are mildly toxic, some deadly. Habitat, diet, and environment decide the strength of their toxin. A puffer in one reef may seem harmless, but in another, a similar-looking fish could kill multiple large predators. Nature hides these secrets in plain sight. No predator knows until it's too late. And this uncertainty is exactly what keeps the puffer safe. Its quiet power comes from unpredictability and the deadly patience of evolution. Even when inflated, the puffer remains calm. It breathes slowly, controlling oxygen, conserving energy, never panicking. Why?
because panic could spread the toxin in its own body or make it lose balance. Every movement is calculated, even in defense. Its survival doesn't rely on speed or strength, but on timing, restraint, and chemistry. A predator can't outmatch this strategy because the fight never happens. The puffer simply exists, a quiet thread, a chemical sentinel in a world full of motion and danger. The presence of puffers reshapes the reef in invisible ways. Predators avoid areas, hunting patterns shift, prey behaviors adjust. Some smaller fish even cluster near puffers, exploiting a protective shield. The toxin creates zones of influence, not through force, but by enforcing rules. One small fish, with no aggression, dictates who hunts, who survives, who thrives. It's a reminder, in the ocean, power doesn't always roar. Sometimes it floats quietly, unseen, yet completely untouchable. Humans aren't immune. In some cultures, puffers are a delicacy, but one mistake can be fatal. Even a tiny trace of tissue can paralyze respiratory muscles in minutes. There's no antidote. Survival depends entirely on care, attention, and luck. It's a silent, invisible danger. Just like in nature, the puffer doesn't attack, it waits. The moment of risk comes from assumption, from curiosity, from underestimating a small, round fish floating calmly in the reef. From an evolutionary perspective, the pufferfish is a master of efficiency. No need for speed, teeth, or cunning tactics. Its chemical armor neutralizes threats instantly, regardless of size or skill. Even the most capable predator can be rendered helpless. Over time, this strategy allows puffers to feed openly, cruise exposed areas, and invest in reproduction rather than constant vigilance. In a reef full of danger, the puffer thrives, not by outmatching others, but by changing the rules of life itself. Tetrodotoxin doesn't just defend the puffer, it dictates the flow of life around it. Predators alter hunting paths, smaller fish adapt movements, and the reef's balance subtly shifts. Danger isn't visible, it's implied. The reef becomes a network of silent warnings, guided by a single chemical weapon. One creature, small and unassuming, has the power to control movement, behavior, and survival. In the ocean, that's more power than speed or teeth could ever provide. Unlike predators that strike or roar, the puffer's threat is invisible, patient, and absolute. Predators make mistakes and pay immediately. The toxin doesn't need action. It waits, ready, passive, yet devastating. Survival here isn't about confrontation. It's about understanding invisible rules. And the puffer is the ultimate teacher, silent, slow, and deadly. A tiny orb drifting in the reef, commanding respect without moving a muscle. As the sun filters through the water, the reef seems calm. Schools of fish move, predators patrol, currents sway, but the puffer remains a quiet sentinel. Its body may appear soft, round, defenseless, but beneath the surface, every flick, every pulse of its fin is a reminder. Danger here doesn't chase, it waits, and the reef and everything in it has learned to respect that stillness. What other secrets lurk in the reef? Stay with us, we're just getting started.
As we leave the peculiar world of the pufferfish behind, the ocean holds another secret, hidden in plain sight, waiting silently beneath the waves. Meet the stonefish, a creature whose camouflage is so flawless that it appears indistinguishable from a jagged rock or coral rubble. At first glance, you might walk right past it, thinking it is just part of the reef's scenery, unaware of the deadly weapon concealed beneath that rocky exterior. Its skin is rough, mottled, and irregular, mimicking the textures and colors of the surrounding seabed so perfectly that even experienced divers can be fooled. But do not be deceived by its stillness. The stonefish is a master of ambush, a predator that relies entirely on patience rather than pursuit. It remains motionless for hours, days, sometimes even weeks, blending into the reef, waiting for an unsuspecting prey to wander close enough. And its weapon is hidden in plain sight, 13 venomous spines along its back, capable of delivering one of the most potent toxins in the animal kingdom. Step too close, and a single spine can pierce skin, injecting venom that causes excruciating pain, swelling, muscle weakness, and in severe cases, heart failure. The venom is a biochemical marvel, a complex mixture of proteins that can disrupt nerve and cardiovascular function, demonstrating both the danger and the precision of evolution. Despite its lethal capacity, the stonefish is not aggressive. It does not hunt humans, yet it enforces its defense with deadly efficiency. The beauty of its camouflage serves a dual purpose. It conceals the stonefish from predators while giving it the perfect advantage over prey. Small fish, shrimp, and other crustaceans drift too close, unaware of the silent threat beneath them, and in a fraction of a second, the stonefish strikes. Its mouth opens like a trap, creating a suction strong enough to swallow prey whole, a feat achieved in mere milliseconds. This combination of patience, camouflage, and lethal precision has made the stonefish one of the most efficient predators of the shallow reef ecosystem. Yet, the stonefish's danger is not limited to the underwater world. Humans are frequent victims, stepping unknowingly onto its hidden spines. Each year, injuries occur because the stonefish is almost invisible, its appearance blending so seamlessly with rocks and sand that recognition becomes nearly impossible. Immediate medical attention is essential. Treatment often involves antivenom, hot water immersion to denature the toxins, and careful monitoring for complications. The experience is often described as unbearable, with pain radiating through limbs, swelling, and in some cases, systemic symptoms that can threaten life. Despite the fear it inspires, the stonefish plays a vital role in maintaining ecological balance. By controlling populations of small fish and crustaceans, it ensures that no single species dominates the reef, preserving the delicate web of life. Some might call it a monster, others a miracle of adaptation, but the stonefish's existence proves that evolution can create creatures both deadly and fascinating. Scientists study its venom not just to understand danger, but also for potential medical applications, from pain management to cardiac therapies, highlighting nature's hidden treasures. Its ability to survive in shallow waters, tidal pools, and reef flats makes it even more remarkable, thriving in areas where human contact is most likely. Every rock or piece of coral could hide a patient predator, and this awareness instills a mix of awe and caution among divers and locals alike. Its stillness is its strength, a silent strategy that commands respect, teaching humans the lessons of observation, patience, and careful movement in the ocean. And yet, there is a strange beauty in this danger, a reminder that the ocean thrives on balance, camouflage, and the hidden power beneath still surfaces. Even the most experienced divers approach with hesitation, knowing that one wrong step could awaken the stonefish's lethal defense. It waits quietly, blending into the reef, perfectly still but always alert, a silent testament to nature's ingenuity and power. The stonefish embodies a paradox, seemingly inert yet capable of instant devastation, invisible yet commanding absolute respect from all who encounter it. And so, as we continue our journey through the ocean's hidden worlds, the stonefish reminds us that beneath beauty often lies danger, and patience can be as lethal as speed. Every dive, every step in shallow waters becomes a lesson in caution, respect,
and the extraordinary ability of nature to conceal its deadliest creatures in plain sight. As we delve deeper into the mysterious world of the stonefish, one cannot help but marvel at its incredible mastery of disguise. From above, it is indistinguishable from a jagged rock or a piece of coral, yet beneath that unassuming exterior lies a living arsenal of defense. Imagine walking through a shallow reef, your feet brushing over the sand, oblivious to the hidden dangers below. That danger might be a stonefish lying perfectly still, blending so seamlessly that the human eye struggles to detect it. Its venomous spines are not just ordinary needles, they are finely tuned weapons, capable of delivering a dose of venom potent enough to incapacitate an adult human. This venom is a complex cocktail of proteins, each designed to disrupt nerves, muscles, and even cardiovascular function in the unfortunate victim. It is a chemical masterpiece, honed over millions of years, balancing lethality with the need for survival. Despite this, the stonefish is not aggressive. It does not actively hunt humans or large animals, relying instead on perfect camouflage to remain unseen. Small fish, crabs, and shrimps, however, are not so lucky. They wander within striking distance, unaware of the predator beneath them. And then, in a flash that seems almost impossible to detect with the naked eye, the stonefish strikes. Its mouth opens with astonishing speed, creating suction that pulls the prey inside before it even has a chance to react. This efficiency in predation highlights the stonefish's incredible evolutionary design. Its survival is a testament to patience, stealth, and perfect adaptation to its environment. In the shallow waters of the Indo-Pacific, where it is most commonly found, the stonefish rules the reef silently and efficiently. It is fascinating to note that the stonefish can survive out of water for hours, especially in tidal pools, making it a resilient creature in extreme conditions. Local legends and fishermen have long told stories of the stonefish, warning travelers to step carefully in shallow reefs. For a diver, encountering a stonefish is a moment of respect and caution. Even the most experienced professionals approach with deliberate movements. Despite its lethality, humans have found ways to coexist with this formidable creature. In some coastal communities, traditional knowledge guides locals to avoid areas where stonefish are known to hide. Footwear, careful observation, and understanding the reef's layout are essential to avoid painful encounters. Medical science has also learned from the stonefish. Its venom has become a subject of study for painkillers and cardiovascular research.
The stonefish also serves as a reminder of the ocean's hidden dangers, teaching humans humility and respect for marine life. Divers often report a mixture of fear and awe when encountering these creatures, aware of their lethal potential, but captivated by their evolutionary perfection. Some scientists even describe the stonefish as a living fossil, an ancient survivor that has changed little over millions of years. Its design is near perfect, balancing camouflage, lethality, and survival skills in a way that few other creatures can match. The more one learns about the stonefish, the more apparent its genius becomes, a silent predator shaping its environment while remaining almost invisible. Even in areas heavily trafficked by humans, the stonefish adapts, finding niches where it can remain hidden yet effective. Every shadow, every rock, could conceal one of these deadly predators, making the reef a place of both beauty and caution. And yet, for all its danger, there is an undeniable fascination with the stonefish, a respect for its skill, patience, and lethal elegance. It is a reminder that nature often conceals its most powerful creations behind masks of simplicity, waiting for those who dare to look closer. In every encounter, whether in scientific study or accidental contact, the stonefish commands attention, teaching lessons about evolution, survival, and the hidden power of patience. As we continue to explore its world, we see that danger and beauty often coexist, intertwined in ways that challenge human understanding. The stonefish embodies this duality, a master of deception, a silent hunter, and an indispensable part of the reef ecosystem. Its camouflage, lethality,
and ecological role make it one of the most remarkable creatures of the shallow seas. Even as we admire its design, we cannot ignore the respect it demands, reminding us of the thin line between curiosity and danger in the natural world. And so, the stonefish remains, perfectly still, perfectly hidden, a testament to the subtle genius of evolution, waiting silently beneath the waves, where beauty and peril merge. As we move from the shadows of the reef to its colorful edges, a new predator comes into view, the lionfish. With its striking striped pattern and flowing fins, it seems almost too beautiful to be dangerous. But appearances can be deceiving. The lionfish is one of the most effective predators in the oceans, an invader in some regions, and a marvel of nature in others. Native to the Indo-Pacific, its beauty has made it a favorite in aquariums, yet in the wild, it commands fear and respect. Its venomous spines are its signature, a defense mechanism that few dare to challenge. A single spine contains venom capable of causing intense pain, nausea, and even temporary paralysis. The lionfish does not rely on brute strength alone. It uses strategy, patience, and precision to hunt. Slowly, it fans out its fins, creating a mesmerizing display that also serves to corral unsuspecting prey. Small fish, oblivious to the danger, are guided into a trap they cannot escape. Then, with a sudden strike, the lionfish swallows its prey in one swift motion, leaving no time for resistance. Its hunting technique is as elegant as it is deadly, a ballet of precision under the sea. Invasive populations of lionfish in the Atlantic and Caribbean have shown just how adaptable and dangerous these predators can be. Released or escaped from aquariums decades ago, they found the reefs of Florida, the Bahamas, and beyond to be perfect hunting grounds. With few natural predators, their numbers exploded, devastating native fish populations and disrupting ecosystems. Scientists have studied this invasion extensively, trying to understand how a single species could alter entire marine communities. Each lionfish can consume dozens of juvenile fish in a day, outcompeting native predators and upsetting the balance of the reef. Yet in its native habitat, the lionfish plays a critical role, keeping prey populations in check and maintaining reef health. Its striking appearance is both a warning and camouflage, blending in with corals while signaling danger to would-be predators.
The lionfish moves through the reef with a grace that almost seems unreal. Its striped fins ripple like silk in slow motion, a hypnotic dance in the blue water. But hidden in that beauty is a predator of unparalleled efficiency. Every movement, every fin flick is calculated to lure, trap, and devour. In the wild, lionfish have no fear, gliding effortlessly through corals, crevices, and rocky reefs. They are patient hunters, willing to wait for hours, motionless, until prey wanders too close. Their eyes, large and unblinking, follow every tiny fish, every crustacean, as though reading the future. When the moment comes, the strike is instantaneous, precise, leaving nothing to chance. This hunting strategy has earned the lionfish a fearsome reputation among the creatures of the reef. Juvenile fish, crabs, and shrimp have no defense against this methodical predator. It's almost like watching a magician perform. The prey disappears before you can even understand what happened. The lionfish doesn't just hunt, it orchestrates a performance that ensures its survival. Its fins, wide and flowing, serve multiple purposes. They appear delicate and ornamental, yet they are deadly tools that trap prey. The venomous spines are part of this toolkit, a warning to any creature that might try to challenge it. Touching a lionfish, even by accident, can result in excruciating pain that radiates along the limb. The venom affects nerves and muscles, causing swelling, nausea, and sometimes temporary paralysis. Divers who encounter lionfish often pause, entranced by their beauty, yet wary of their danger. In their native Indo-Pacific waters, lionfish exist in balance with other predators. Sharks, groupers, and moray eels occasionally prey on them, keeping populations in check. But when introduced to new environments, such as the Atlantic, the rules change. Without natural predators, lionfish populations explode, turning ecosystems upside down. Reefs in Florida, the Bahamas, and the Caribbean have witnessed massive declines in native fish populations due to lionfish predation. Scientists describe this as one of the most dramatic examples of marine invasion in recent history. Each lionfish can release tens of thousands of eggs multiple times a year. These eggs drift with the ocean currents, establishing new populations far from their origin. In just a few decades, lionfish have spread across thousands of kilometers, colonizing areas humans never intended. This rapid expansion has alarmed marine biologists, who study the long-term consequences on reef health. Native predators struggle to adapt, and prey species decline, altering the reef ecosystem irreversibly. Despite their invasive impact, lionfish remain fascinating to researchers and divers alike. Their hunting method, appearance, and adaptability make them a case study in evolutionary success. Lionfish are solitary by nature, but may hunt near each other if food is abundant. They are most active during dawn and dusk, using the low light to their advantage. Their striped pattern breaks up their outline, making them almost invisible among coral branches. Even the cleverest prey can be fooled by this camouflage, only realizing the danger when it's too late. Lionfish can also move backward, a rare ability among fish, allowing them to retreat without turning their body. This movement aids in hunting as well as evaded larger predators. Interestingly, lionfish are not aggressive toward humans. Most encounters are accidental. The real danger lies in their venomous spines, not intentional attacks. Yet, the venom has fascinated scientists, who study its components for potential medical applications. Some toxins in lionfish venom may have uses in pain management or neurological research. Invasive lionfish have also led to creative solutions by humans. Local fishermen harvest them, turning a problem into an opportunity. Restaurants have started serving lionfish, introducing people to its mild, white, flaky flesh. This culinary approach helps reduce population pressure on invaded reefs. In some regions, lionfish derbies are organized, where divers compete to remove as many as possible. These events raise awareness while providing ecological benefits. Even with these efforts, controlling lionfish populations remains a major challenge. Their reproductive rate, adaptability, and ability to thrive in various habitats make eradication nearly impossible.
Beyond the reefs, lionfish venture into deeper waters, exploring caves and overhangs that few predators dare enter. Here, they hunt silently, their spines glinting like shark daggers in the filtered light. Each move is deliberate, almost theatrical, as if the ocean itself pauses to watch. Even the smallest fish can fall victim to this mesmerizing predator, caught in a sudden swirl of fins. Scientists have observed lionfish cornering entire schools of fish, hurting them with their outstretched fins. It's a tactic so precise it almost seems planned, like a chess master anticipating every move. The venomous spines serve as both a weapon and a deterrent, ensuring the lionfish remains largely unchallenged. No other fish dares to approach too closely, giving the lionfish free rein over its hunting grounds. Interestingly, lionfish are known to hunt cooperatively at times, a rare behavior in solitary predators. Two or more individuals may coordinate to flush prey from hiding spots, increasing their success rate. This cooperative hunting is not fully understood, but it shows the intelligence and adaptability of these creatures. Juvenile lionfish learn these techniques by watching older, experienced individuals, a subtle form of cultural transmission. Even their eggs are strategically placed, often in hidden crevices or under ledges, safe from most predators. The eggs, carried by ocean currents, can travel hundreds of kilometers before hatching. Each hatchling begins life with the instinctive ability to hunt, a miniature predator ready to survive. In invaded regions, these larvae contribute to rapid population growth, making management even more difficult. Lionfish are not mindless predators. They exhibit patience, sometimes waiting hours for the perfect strike. This patience allows them to exploit even the most cautious prey, striking only when victory is certain. Their slow approach lulls prey into a false sense of security, a dangerous mistake. Some prey species have developed awareness, recognizing the shadow of a lionfish as a warning. Yet, these adaptations are often insufficient against such a cunning hunter. Divers report an almost hypnotic effect when observing lionfish. Their movement is so fluid it captivates the eye. Even experienced marine biologists can be momentarily entranced before remembering the threat of venom. Handling lionfish requires specialized tools and careful techniques to avoid injury. Spearfishing is one method used in population control, but it requires precision and knowledge.
Under the shallow tropical waves of the Indo-Pacific, there exists a serpent unlike any other. Not quite fish, not quite reptile in behavior, something between two worlds, perfectly adapted to both land and sea. This is the banded sea crate, a creature of mystery and precision, a master of ambush among coral labyrinths. Appearance and first impressions. From afar, it looks like a ribbon of shadow, gliding almost motionlessly through the water. But up close, the banded sea crate's body tells its story. Its cylindrical form is encircled by alternating dark and lighter bands extending from its neck to the tip of its paddle-like tail. Its head is often jet black, accented by a vivid yellow snout and lips, a striking pattern that gives rise to its alternate name, the yellow-lipped sea crate. Unlike true sea snakes, the sea crate is semi-aquatic, a dual citizen of the ocean and land. Its body is smooth and scaled, its elongated tail flattened laterally like an oar that propels it silently through the water. Here in the coral reefs, mangrove channels, and rocky inlets, this snake holds its dominion with a grace few other reptiles possess. Masters of two worlds, semi-aquatic existence. What makes the banded sea crate remarkable is its very way of life, perched between ocean and shore. While most sea snakes complete their entire life cycle within the water, crates regularly return to land. Here they digest food, shed skin, rest, and most importantly lay eggs, something no true sea snake does. After a feeding dive, the crate will often beach itself on coral rubble or a stretch of sandy shoreline. There it coils under rocks, into crevices, or even under vegetation to rest or digest. This behavior is not incidental, it requires it. Unlike many marine reptiles, banded sea crates cannot process their meals indefinitely in saltwater. The instability of seawater and the need to balance their internal chemistry drives them back to land. Habitat and range, where water meets earth. The banded sea crate inhabits warm tropical waters, from the coral reefs off Papua New Guinea to the islands of the Philippines, Southeast Asia, Sri Lanka, and even as far north as Japan. Though it spends the majority of its life in the ocean, it rarely strays far from shore. Coral reefs and mangroves provide not only food but also shelter, labyrinthine spaces where its slender body can probe for hidden prey. Unlike many oceanic predators, it doesn't hunt in open water far from land. Instead, it uses the reef's complexity to its advantage, weaving through coral branches and rocky outcrops with an almost ghost-like fluidity.
The banded sea crate is a feeding specialist. Unlike sharks or rays that eat a wide variety of prey, this snake has evolved to hunt one of the most elusive animals of the reef, eels. Its long, slender body and small head are perfect for probing deep into narrow coral crevices where moray and conger eels lurk. Eels are slippery, powerful, and often larger in mass than the snake itself. To capture such agile quarry, the crate relies on its venom, a potent neurotoxin that shuts down the nervous system of its prey quickly and efficiently. Within moments of striking and injecting venom, the eel's muscles fail, its movements slow, and the crate follows with a deadly precision that nature has perfected over millennia. Sexual dimorphism, differences in size and behavior between males and females, is tied directly to diet. Females, larger than males, dive deeper and pursue larger conger eels. Males often hunt smaller moray eels closer to shore. This division reduces competition between sexes and maximizes the species' success at harvesting prey from the reef ecosystem. Venom, a double-edged sword. The venom of the banded sea crate is among the most potent of all snakes. Composed of powerful neurotoxins, these substances disrupt nerve-to-muscle communication, quickly paralyzing prey or deterring predators. Though extremely toxic, even compared to many terrestrial snakes, the banded sea crate is not aggressive toward humans and rarely bites unless harassed or mishandled. But in evolutionary terms, venom is not just defense, it's a precision tool. Unlike many predators that kill through strength or speed, the crate subdues with chemistry, a silent and deadly whisper beneath the waves. Breeding and life cycle, returning to land. Sea crates exhibit fascinating reproductive behavior. Mating typically occurs during warm seasons, when males gather along shorelines and shallow waters to seek receptive females. These encounters can be competitive, with multiple males pursuing a single female until one finally mates with her. Once fertilized,
the female returns to land to lay her eggs in sheltered crevices, rocks, or beneath debris, a behavior reminiscent of sea turtles. Unlike many marine reptiles that give birth in the water, Latticauda colubrina's oviparous nature, laying eggs, sets it apart. After an incubation period of several months, hatchlings emerge fully formed, slithering toward the sea to begin their own life cycle.
Much of the banded sea krait's activity occurs at night. Nocturnal by nature, it exploits the darkness of the reef when eels and other prey are active. During these hours, it becomes an efficient hunter, silent, undulating, and always aware. Despite its deadly adaptations, the krait is surprisingly placid. Its interactions with divers and swimmers are mostly benign. Bites are rare and typically occur only if the animal feels cornered or mishandled. Yet its reputation persists, a reminder that beauty in the reef often comes with hidden danger. Ecological role: predator, prey, and reef sculptor. The banded sea krait sits at a unique place in the coral reef food web. As a predator of eels, it helps regulate populations that might otherwise dominate reef crevices, potentially affecting the diversity of species that share that space. By controlling eel numbers, kraits indirectly influence reef health, from fish population dynamics to space use within coral labyrinths. At the same time, they serve as prey for larger predators such as sharks or saltwater crocodiles, closing the loop in a system where every life, whether great or small, is interconnected. Adaptations beyond the norm. The banded sea krait's life is a testament to evolutionary ingenuity. Its dual reliance on land and sea, digesting food and nesting on shore, hunting underwater, makes it one of the most versatile marine reptiles. Unlike true sea snakes that never come ashore and give birth in the ocean, kraits maintain a connection to Earth. Its nostrils are lateral rather than valved like true sea snakes, and its enlarged belly scales allow it to move on land with surprising ease. Remarkably, they have even been observed climbing low trees or rocky structures to find a resting spot or fresh water source. Human encounters and conservation. Despite its potent venom, human fatalities are rare. The banded sea krait's docile temperament means it avoids confrontation. Divers often marvel at its peaceful glide through reef channels, and careful observers can appreciate its intricate role within marine ecosystems without risk. However, threats loom. Habitat loss from coastal development, pollution, climate change, and coral reef degradation affect not just the krait, but the entire ecosystem it depends upon. Preserving healthy reef environments ensures the survival of such unique species, reminding us that ocean conservation is not just about large charismatic megafauna, but also about the serpents that weave beneath the waves.
The reef appears tranquil at first glance, but beneath the gentle sway of water lies a world of hidden danger. Here, among the waving fronds and coral towers, a predator waits, still, patient, and lethal. The sea anemone is not fast. It does not chase. It does not need to. Its arsenal is silent, mechanical, and indiscriminate. Every inch of its body is armed. Every tentacle is a weapon, a harpoon poised to strike at the merest touch. For fish navigating this labyrinthine landscape, proximity to an anemone is a calculated risk. Even the smallest mistake can be fatal. A young damselfish drifts too close, unaware, its gills flaring, fins quivering with instinctive caution. The anemone does not flinch, it does not judge, it waits. And then contact occurs. A tentacle brushes a scale. Immediately, the cells trigger, launching venom into the intruder. Pain and paralysis cascade through the fish, locking fins and disrupting breathing. Escape becomes uncertain. The anemone's tentacles curl with precision, guiding the victim toward the central mouth. Digestion begins externally, a silent feast before ingestion. This process repeats for every touch, every misstep. Yet there is method in this seeming brutality. The anemone does not expend energy chasing prey. It relies on inevitability. Something will touch it. And when it does, the system works perfectly. Clownfish, however, are exceptions. They weave fearlessly among the tentacles, brushing against harpoons that would instantly incapacitate any other creature. This immunity is not magical. It is chemical, an evolutionary gift wrapped in mucus. A specialized coating prevents the discharge of stinging cells, masking the signals that would trigger attack. Juveniles must learn carefully. Tentative touches, retreats, adjustments. One mistake can mean death. But once acclimatized, they gain the fortress's protection. Predators dare not follow. The clownfish moves through a lethal forest unscathed. This partnership benefits both sides. The anemone gains circulation and nutrients. The fish gains sanctuary. Together, they form a symbiosis that shapes the surrounding reef.
For other animals, the lesson is harsh. Shrimp, small fish, drifting larvae, none are spared. Even brief contact can cause lasting damage. No consideration is given to size, species, or intent. Mechanics and chemistry dominate. The response is immediate, unwavering, precise. The reef itself shifts around these hazards. Grazers circle wide, predators plot paths carefully. Juveniles learn to avoid the deadly forest. Over time, these microhabitats define who thrives and who perishes. Humans are not exempt. Sea anemones, soft and inviting in appearance, often tempt curious fingers. Touch is met with sudden pain, irritation, raised welts. Hours may pass before relief comes, sometimes days. This subtle danger underscores a broader truth in marine ecosystems. Soft does not mean safe. Stillness does not mean defenseless. Some of the ocean's most formidable predators are rooted, immobile, yet impossible to ignore. Every tentacle is autonomous. Every harpoon is self-sufficient. The anemone's tissue manufactures these weapons continuously, replacing old cells, assembling new ones. Damage to a tentacle is temporary. Regeneration restores both structure and defense. Even predatory fish with tolerance for mild stings quickly learn to avoid repeated contact. Pain, disruption, temporary paralysis, these are enough to teach respect. The system cannot be fooled by speed, camouflage, or cunning. If you touch it, you pay. Around the anemone, the reef's rhythm changes. Traffic patterns shift, feeding grounds are adjusted, predators alter their hunting strategies. The presence of a single anemone can ripple across the ecosystem. Fish avoid, graze elsewhere, learn, and teach. Over generations, this passive predator sculpts behavior with precision.
From an ecological perspective, the anemone is both predator and architect. Its presence dictates patterns of feeding, growth, and movement. It creates zones of safety and danger. It indirectly nurtures diversity, forcing adaptation and strategy in every passing animal. And yet, for all its lethality, it is passive. It does not hunt. It does not pursue. It waits. Patience is its greatest weapon. Touch is the trigger. Venom and mechanical design do the rest. The reef is alive with motion. Juvenile fish dart carefully, their instincts shaped by countless encounters, by the unseen hand of anemones that teach without malice. Predators plan paths, choosing targets wisely, respecting boundaries. Even humans, should they wander too close,
risk immediate discomfort. Time passes slowly in the quiet benthic world. The anemone continues its sway, its tentacles moving gently, armed, ready, inevitable. The forest of living harpoons waits for contact, enforcing rules that shape the reef. It is a predator, a protector, and a sculptor of life. And it will remain so, silent, patient, and perfect, for countless generations to come.
The reef seems calm, almost inviting, but hidden within its gentle sway lies a predator unlike any other. The sea anemone waits silently, motionless, yet armed with a forest of deadly tentacles. It does not chase, it does not hunt, it only waits. Every tentacle is lined with specialized cells, stinging harpoons ready to strike on contact. One wrong move from a passing fish and paralysis spreads through its body. Fins lock, gills struggle, escape becomes impossible. The anemone guides its prey slowly toward the central mouth, a patient executioner. Yet not all creatures fear it. Clownfish, protected by a layer of special mucus, weave fearlessly among the tentacles. Their immunity is not magic, it is chemistry honed over generations. Juveniles learn through tentative touches, retreats, and careful adaptation. Once acclimated, they gain sanctuary in a lethal forest. Predators dare not follow. The anemone benefits too. Its tiny guests increase water circulation and provide nutrients. Together, they form a symbiosis, mutual survival in a dangerous world. For others, the anemone's forest is deadly. Shrimp, small fish, drifting larvae, any contact triggers venom and immobilization. No consideration is given to size or intent. The response is immediate, precise, unerring. Even experienced predators quickly learn to avoid it. The reef around the anemone adapts. Traffic shifts, feeding zones move. Behavior is shaped, generations learn, and survival depends on respect for this silent arbiter. The anemone is passive, yet perfectly efficient. Its tentacles regenerate continuously. Each new harpoon is as lethal as the last. Milliseconds can mean life or death. Touch triggers release, venom flows, capture occurs. The reef's creatures learn to navigate this invisible web of danger, altering paths, feeding patterns, and interactions. Even humans feel its sting, soft and beautiful, yet deceptively dangerous. Pain lingers, a reminder that stillness does not equal safety. Time passes slowly in this benthic forest. Juvenile fish test their immunity again and again, learning the subtle language of the tentacles. Predators adjust, plotting careful paths, avoiding mistakes. The anemone silently enforces rules, shaping the ecosystem without movement, without malice. It is both predator and architect, sculpting life through chemistry, mechanics, and patient inevitability. It waits, it strikes, and it will remain timeless, perfect, and lethal, a sentinel of the reef.
Beneath the reef's swaying forests of coral, a new hazard emerges, silent, rigid, and unyielding. The sea urchin appears harmless at first glance, a simple, spiny sphere clinging to rocks or wedged into crevices. But nothing about this creature is accidental. Every spine is a tiny weapon, every movement a calculated response to threat. Fish approaching the urchin hesitate, slowing their patrols, circling cautiously. The spines, hundreds or thousands, articulate independently, subtly pivoting to track potential danger. From afar, they seem static, yet up close, movement is unmistakable. One wrong brush against the spines, and the predator learns an immediate lesson. The defense of the sea urchin is both mechanical and chemical. The spines are hard, sharp, and brittle, perfect for puncturing fins, skin, or mouths. Some spines break off and lodge inside attackers, leaving fragments that cause pain, impede movement, and teach avoidance. Layered defenses abound. Pedicellariae, tiny claw-like appendages, snap shut on soft tissue, sometimes injecting venom or irritants. The combination of spikes and chemical deterrents is enough to ward off most predators.
Even humans experience it. A careless step or touch leaves welts, embedded spines, and prolonged discomfort. This is not aggression, it is inevitability, a powerful but formidable deterrent. Sea urchins are slow, stationary, and conspicuous. Their survival does not rely on fleeing, it relies on creating a zone of risk around themselves. Predators must negotiate a gauntlet of spikes and toxins, recalculating effort versus reward. Juvenile fish learn quickly. The silhouette of a sea urchin triggers caution long before contact occurs. Behavior is modified not through force, but through consequence. In this way, urchins shape the reef's traffic patterns, influencing who eats what, where, and how often.
From the reef's perspective, urchins are both obstacle and sculptor. Their presence shapes benthic traffic, feeding behavior, and habitat use. In areas dense with urchins, fish and invertebrates adjust, avoiding zones of risk while seeking safer paths. This creates microhabitats where some species thrive and others are excluded. In effect, the urchin transforms its surroundings into an extension of its defense. Humans, too, are reminded of the urchin's hidden power. Walking barefoot across shallow reefs can result in punctures that are difficult to remove, sometimes requiring medical attention. Embedded fragments may linger for weeks, causing pain, inflammation, or infection. In tide pools or aquaria, the release of toxins can even affect nearby fish. Appearance is deceptive, slow, spherical, seemingly fragile, but nothing about the sea urchin invites casual interaction. Yet, despite its formidable defenses, the urchin does not attack. It does not pursue. It does not strike proactively. It simply exists as a hazard, forcing adaptation and caution in every creature that navigates its vicinity. The battle is silent, the rules unspoken, and yet the reef abides by them. Over evolutionary time, the urchin has become a quiet architect of survival. Predators innovate, prey adapt, ecosystems respond. Through spikes, toxins, and resilience, the sea urchin ensures that the reef is a place of risk, learning, and selective opportunity. It is a testament to passive defense, proving that survival is not always about speed, strength, or aggression. It can be about persistence, inevitability, and shaping the environment to your advantage. The reef shifts around it, yet the urchin remains, rigid, silent, and deadly. A slow sentinel, a teacher of caution, a sculptor of behavior. Every spine, every pedestal area, a reminder that in this world, even the stationary can dominate. Life on the reef is not given. It is earned, negotiated, and carefully measured. And the sea urchin, patient and unyielding, ensures that lesson is never forgotten.
Despite its rigid, spiny exterior, the sea urchin is not merely a defensive organism, it is also a meticulous grazer, shaping the reef from below. Its mouth, a complex arrangement known as Aristotle's lantern, is a marvel of evolutionary engineering. 5 calcium carbonate teeth converge with precision, scraping algae, detritus, and tiny encrusting organisms from the rocks. This constant grazing prevents certain algae from dominating, keeping the reef balanced. But the act is not without risk. In the process, the urchin navigates spaces teeming with predators, including starfish, wrasses, and crabs, all drawn to this slow-moving sphere of life. Each movement of the sea urchin is deliberate. Tube feet extend from its underside, creating suction against surfaces. They are delicate, flexible, and surprisingly strong, capable of anchoring the urchin against currents or the tug of a predator. The rhythmic pulsation of these feet provides mobility, albeit slow, but enough to seek sustenance while maintaining a defensive posture. Some species, like the long-spined urchins, adjust their spines while moving, keeping them angled outward to maximize protection as they glide across the reef. In regions where sea urchin populations are dense, their impact is dramatic.
They create what ecologists call urchin barrens, patches of reef stripped almost bare of kelp or macroalgae. These barren zones are not lifeless. Rather, they foster unique microhabitats. Small invertebrates find refuge among the spines, and opportunistic algae cling to the undersides of rocks, thriving in spaces too dangerous for larger grazers. Predators, too, adapt, learning to forage around the spiny fortresses, exploiting gaps and weaknesses. This interplay of defense, predation, and adaptation exemplifies the subtle power of the urchin. It is a small, slow organism, yet it wields ecosystem-wide influence. Survival in this world is not only about avoiding predation, it's about timing and strategy. Sea urchins are largely nocturnal, emerging under the cover of darkness to graze. This reduces the risk of encounters with diurnal predators. Some species aggregate in groups, forming loose clusters that enhance mutual protection. Spines from neighboring urchins interlock, creating a formidable barrier against incursion. Here, cooperation is not conscious, but evolutionary, a collective defense encoded over millennia. Chemical deterrents supplement the physical. Saponins, bitter-tasting compounds in their tissue, dissuade consumption. These compounds are not always lethal, but they introduce a physiological cost for predators. Nematodes and Pedicellariae may puncture, secrete, or irritate, ensuring that even a partial attack leaves a mark. Predators learn from experience. A single bite or brush may cause lingering discomfort, teaching avoidance. Over generations, these interactions shape predator behavior, fine-tuning the balance between effort and reward. The urchin, through its spines and chemistry, negotiates the terms of its survival without lifting a single foot in combat.
The sea cucumber, slow-moving and unassuming, might seem like one of the ocean's most defenseless creatures, yet its survival depends on a series of subtle but effective adaptations that transform vulnerability into resilience. Unlike predators that rely on speed or sharp teeth, the sea cucumber leverages chemistry, structure, and behavior to survive in a world full of threats. Its soft body, normally a liability, becomes a vehicle for defense. When threatened, specialized cells within its skin release sticky, toxic filaments called Cuvierian tubules, which can entangle predators and inflict irritation. These tubules are often expelled through the anus in a remarkable display of self-sacrifice, yet the animal regenerates them over time, ensuring that each encounter with a predator leaves it prepared for the next. The toxins present in the sea cucumber are potent, but not designed to kill immediately. They are irritants to eyes, gills, and wounds, a biological form of deterrence rather than a weapon of destruction. In the confined space of tide pools or reefs, even a small release can affect nearby fish, creating a ripple of chemical influence across the immediate environment. This strategy emphasizes the concept that survival in the ocean is not always about aggression, it can be about influence. By making itself unpleasant to consume, the sea cucumber teaches predators to avoid it, turning memory into a defensive tool. Fish that have experienced the irritants tend to remember the lesson, passing it along indirectly through behavioral cues observed by others. The sea cucumber's defenses are complemented by its role in the ecosystem. It is a key recycler of nutrients, processing sediment as it moves and feeding, extracting organic matter while releasing cleaner sand and excrement rich in minerals. This bioturbation oxygenates the seabed and supports microbial communities essential to the reef's health. Essentially, the sea cucumber acts as an engineer of its environment, maintaining balance between consumption and regeneration in the benthic system. Its ability to survive predation allows it to continue these vital ecological functions, highlighting how its defense mechanisms are not only about individual survival, but also about sustaining community health. Its slow pace, often mistaken for helplessness, is another form of evolutionary intelligence. By moving gradually across the substrate, the sea cucumber avoids drawing attention unnecessarily. Its inconspicuous behavior works in tandem with chemical defenses, creating a two-layered strategy: avoidance followed by deterrence. When predators do make contact, the chemical response is immediate, buying the sea cucumber precious moments to influence the predator's behavior without needing to fight or flee. This reflects a broader evolutionary principle observed in the ocean, that adaptability often matters more than raw strength. Interestingly, the sea cucumber can also manipulate its body structure in response to environmental pressures. Certain species can eviscerate internal organs under extreme threat, a last resort defense that distracts predators and allows escape. While extreme, this behavior again highlights the sea cucumber's evolutionary creativity. It does not rely on speed, armor, or venom alone. It leverages both chemistry and a deep biological capacity for regeneration. Within weeks, lost organs or tubules are replaced, restoring the sea cucumber to full defensive capability. By combining chemistry, structural adaptation, and patience, the sea cucumber occupies a unique niche in coral reef systems. Its defenses ensure survival while supporting vital ecological processes, from nutrient recycling to habitat maintenance for countless smaller organisms. It reminds us that in nature, apparent weakness can conceal extraordinary resilience. Soft does not mean defenseless, and slow does not mean insignificant. In the reef's silent architecture, the sea cucumber exemplifies how evolution favors solutions that work, even when they operate far from the obvious measures of power.
The sea cucumber, slow-moving and unassuming, might seem like one of the ocean's most defenseless creatures. Yet its survival depends on a series of subtle but effective adaptations that transform vulnerability into resilience. Unlike predators that rely on speed or sharp teeth, the sea cucumber leverages chemistry, structure, and behavior to survive in a world full of threats. Its soft body, normally a liability, becomes a vehicle for defense. When threatened, specialized cells within its skin release sticky, toxic filaments, called Cuvarian tubules, which can entangle predators and inflict irritation. These tubules are often expelled through the anus in a remarkable display of self-sacrifice, yet the animal regenerates them over time, ensuring that each encounter with a predator leaves it prepared for the next. The toxins present in the sea cucumber are potent, but not designed to kill immediately. They are irritants to eyes, gills, and wounds, a biological form of deterrence rather than a weapon of destruction. In the confined space of tide pools or reefs, even a small release can affect nearby fish, creating a ripple of chemical influence across the immediate environment. This strategy emphasizes the concept that survival in the ocean is not always about aggression, it can be about influence. By making itself unpleasant to consume, the sea cucumber teaches predators to avoid it, turning memory into a defensive tool. Fish that have experienced the irritants tend to remember the lesson, passing it along indirectly through behavioral cues observed by others. The sea cucumber's defenses are complemented by its role in the ecosystem. It is a key recycler of nutrients, processing sediment as it moves and feeding, extracting organic matter while releasing cleaner sand and excrement rich in minerals. This bioturbation oxygenates the seabed and supports microbial communities essential to the reef's health. Essentially, the sea cucumber acts as an engineer of its environment, maintaining balance between consumption and regeneration in the benthic system. Its ability to survive predation allows it to continue these vital ecological functions, highlighting how its defense mechanisms are not only about individual survival, but also about sustaining community health. Its slow pace, often mistaken for helplessness, is another form of evolutionary intelligence. By moving gradually across the substrate, the sea cucumber avoids drawing attention unnecessarily. Its inconspicuous behavior works in tandem with chemical defenses, creating a two-layered strategy: avoidance followed by deterrence. When predators do make contact, the chemical response is immediate, buying the sea cucumber precious moments to influence the predator's behavior without needing to fight or flee. This reflects a broader evolutionary principle observed in the ocean, that adaptability often matters more than raw strength. Interestingly, the sea cucumber can also manipulate its body structure in response to environmental pressures. Certain species can eviscerate internal organs under extreme threat, a last resort defense that distracts predators and allows escape. While extreme, this behavior again highlights the sea cucumber's evolutionary creativity. It does not rely on speed, armor, or venom alone. It leverages both chemistry and a deep biological capacity for regeneration. Within weeks, lost organs or tubules are replaced,
restoring the sea cucumber to full defensive capability. By combining chemistry, structural adaptation, and patience, the sea cucumber occupies a unique niche in coral reef systems. Its defenses ensure survival while supporting vital ecological processes, from nutrient recycling to habitat maintenance for countless smaller organisms. It reminds us that in nature, apparent weakness can conceal extraordinary resilience. Soft does not mean defenseless, and slow does not mean insignificant. In the reef's silent architecture, the sea cucumber exemplifies how evolution favors solutions that work, even when they operate far from the obvious measures of power.
The sea slug, in contrast to the humble sea cucumber, is one of the ocean's most visually striking and biologically fascinating creatures. Its name belies the sheer complexity of its life, adaptations, and survival strategies. While soft-bodied and seemingly vulnerable, the sea slug, particularly the nudibranchs, a diverse subgroup, is a master of disguise, chemical warfare, and ecological influence. Unlike the slow, sediment-processing sea cucumber, sea slugs are often brightly colored, a living signal to potential predators that they are not only unpalatable, but sometimes outright toxic. Evolution has endowed these creatures with one of nature's most sophisticated strategies, aposematism, the use of vivid coloration to advertise danger. The diversity of sea slugs is extraordinary, found in every ocean, from the shallow, sun-drenched coral reefs to the icy depths of the polar seas. Their forms vary as much as their habitats. Some resemble miniature underwater butterflies with intricate patterns of neon blues, pinks, and yellows. Others mimic their surroundings with such precision that they vanish into the algae or sponges they inhabit. This mimicry is both defensive and predatory. By blending into their environment, cryptic sea slugs can avoid predators while stealthily approaching their prey, including sponges, hydroids, and even other nudibranchs. Their radula, a ribbon-like tongue lined with microscopic teeth, is a specialized tool for scraping, puncturing, or extracting the nutrients they need, depending on their diet.
Beyond biology, sea slugs have captivated human imagination and science. Their dazzling colors and patterns have inspired underwater photographers, artists, and biologists alike. Chemists have found in their tissues compounds with potential medicinal applications, including anti-cancer and anti-inflammatory molecules. By studying how nudibranchs sequester and repurpose toxins, researchers hope to uncover new avenues for drug development, illustrating how even small, inconspicuous organisms can have profound implications for human health and technology. However, the sea slug's existence is not without challenges. Climate change, ocean acidification, and pollution threaten its habitats, particularly coral reefs where many species thrive. Rising sea temperatures disrupt reproductive cycles and food availability, while microplastics can interfere with feeding and chemical defense mechanisms. Despite these threats, sea slugs have shown a surprising resilience, often colonizing new areas when conditions change, and displaying remarkable adaptability in diet and behavior. Their evolutionary history, which spans hundreds of millions of years, reflects a lineage capable of surviving dramatic shifts in ocean chemistry, temperature, and predator-prey dynamics. Perhaps the most poetic aspect of the sea slug is its embodiment of paradox. Soft yet dangerous, small yet ecologically influential, slow yet strategically brilliant, it challenges human assumptions about survival and beauty. Where one might see fragility, evolution has installed strength. Where one might see simplicity, complexity thrives. The sea slug's life is a testament to nature's capacity for innovation, where chemistry, behavior, and physiology intertwine to produce resilience and elegance. In the end, studying sea slugs offers more than biological knowledge. It offers lessons in adaptability, cooperation with the environment, and the subtle ways in which life negotiates survival. From the hidden depths of coral reefs to tide pools shimmering in the sun, these creatures remind us that evolution favors not the fastest, the largest, or the strongest, but the most ingenious. Every stripe, every chemical defense, every stolen chloroplast tells a story of survival, collaboration, and ecological artistry. The sea slug is a living canvas, painted with the colors of adaptation and the brushstrokes of evolution, quietly shaping the marine world in ways both visible and invisible.
The sea slug, unlike the modest sea cucumber, is a creature of remarkable beauty and complexity. Known scientifically as members of the order Nudibranchia and related groups, these soft-bodied marine invertebrates are celebrated for their dazzling colors, intricate patterns, and extraordinary adaptations.
While some may see them as fragile, their survival strategies are a testament to evolution's creativity, blending chemical defense, mimicry, and even solar-powered energy production. One of the most striking aspects of sea slugs is their coloration. Unlike the camouflaging strategies of other marine animals, many nudibranchs display bright neon hues as a warning to predators, a strategy known as aposematism. Their skin often contains toxins or stinging cells acquired from prey, such as hydroids and sponges. When a predator attempts to eat a nudibranch, the result is an unpleasant or harmful encounter, teaching the predator to avoid such vivid targets in the future. This combination of bold display and chemical protection. Beneath the shifting currents of the reef, shadows pool and dissolve, weaving through coral spires and jagged rocks. Here, where open sand meets hidden caverns, an octopus glides with a deliberate grace, its body a fluid extension of the environment itself. At first glance, it seems almost invisible, a suggestion of texture and color that the eye can barely hold. But every detail matters. Its skin ripples like the surface of disturbed water, a living canvas capable of shifting from mottled brown to iridescent blue, from jagged patterns to soft gradients that match the surrounding rock. Camouflage is the first line of defense, but it is far from the only one. The octopus does not move like a predator chasing prey. It moves like a sculptor navigating space, its arms trailing, testing, and sensing. Each arm is a network of autonomous neurons, allowing the creature to read its surroundings in real time. Suckers curl and uncurl, testing the water, measuring chemical traces, and adjusting pressure against the uneven reef. Movement is not frantic. There is no panic. Every motion is calculated, deliberate, a choreography of patience. It knows that in the reef, speed can betray, but precision is power. When the octopus hunts, it does not rely on brute force or sudden attack. Instead, it engineers the environment, reshaping it into a trap where prey have no choice. A crab scuttles over the reef, its claws clicking, unaware that its path has been anticipated. The octopus extends its arms, each one probing the crevices and corners with uncanny intelligence. The prey is contained before it even realizes danger. Suckers lock in, not merely gripping, but communicating across the neural networks embedded in each arm. The prey struggles, claws scratching, legs thrashing, but the octopus adapts instantaneously, tightening where resistance spikes, relaxing where pressure is unnecessary. Control replaces violence. The octopus imposes order upon chaos. At the core of this strategy lies another tool, venom. Unlike predators that strike indiscriminately, the octopus uses its venom with purpose and discretion. Delivered through the hard, beak-like mouth nestled at the center of its arms, saliva carries a cocktail of neurotoxins that target neuromuscular systems. Muscles weaken, coordination falters, and the prey's defenses collapse from within. It is not an explosion of power, it is a quiet, insidious unraveling. Prey are immobilized before destruction begins, digestion initiated even as life persists. The octopus eats efficiently, without waste, without unnecessary struggle. Every drop of venom, every motion of an arm, is optimized for success. But hunting is only half the story. The octopus is a master of disguise and deception, transforming not just color and texture, but shape itself. In moments of danger, it can become almost unrecognizable, a flattening of the body to mimic a flounder, arms trailing like venomous sea snakes, spines and patterns echoing the lionfish, a mimicry so precise that predators hesitate, unsure if they face venom, teeth, or spikes. This ability to manipulate perception is more than defense, it is strategy. In the reef, perception can be as lethal as speed or strength. By controlling how it is seen, the octopus turns potential threats into hesitation into survival. Intelligence is interwoven into every aspect of the octopus's life. It manipulates objects to create shelter, using shells, rocks, and debris to fortify dens against intruders. Some species plug their layers with stones, barricading against predators, while others collect coconut shells, carrying them across the reef as mobile fortresses. Tool use, spatial memory, problem solving. All these traits illustrate a cognitive complexity rare in invertebrates. Each choice is informed, adaptive, and responsive, reducing the need for confrontation and conserving energy for when it truly matters. The octopus's influence extends beyond its immediate actions. By selectively preying on crustaceans and small fish, it regulates reef populations with surgical precision. Prey species that might otherwise dominate crevices are kept in check, preserving the diversity and balance of benthic communities. Observing this predator teaches us that power in the ocean does not always belong to the fastest or strongest. Influence comes from control, strategy, and adaptation. Even a single octopus can alter the movement patterns of fish, the foraging routes of crabs, and the microhabitats of the reef, leaving an invisible footprint that shapes the ecosystem. Venom, intelligence, and camouflage converge in a seamless survival system. The octopus does not rely on repetition or brute strength. It adapts, learns, and evolves with each encounter. It monitors chemical cues in water, tracks the movements of prey and predator alike, and adjusts tactics moment by moment. The arms function both as tools of manipulation and sensors, capable of independent problem-solving that frees the central brain to coordinate the larger strategy. This decentralized intelligence is a hallmark of its evolutionary ingenuity, a solution optimized over millions of years for efficiency, stealth, and adaptation. Encounters with humans are rare but revealing. A careless hand reaching into a tank may prompt a defensive bite, the venom modest but precise, causing pain and irritation. Even in these moments, intent is clear, not predation but defense. The octopus strikes only when necessary, conserving its resources and avoiding unnecessary conflict. This restraint underscores an evolutionary principle. Survival is not about aggression, it is about efficiency and discretion. In every action, the octopus balances risk and reward, ensuring that each choice serves a higher purpose in the intricate dance of reef life. As the reef shifts under tidal currents, the octopus disappears, folding arms into shadow, skin blending into the reef with near invisibility. The sand settles, the fish resume their paths, and the predator's presence is felt only in the subtle changes left behind. The absence of prey, the altered behavior of cautious crabs, the memory etched into the minds of potential predators. Its story is written not in destruction, but in control, adaptation, and intelligence. Here, in the quiet corners of the reef, survival is a craft, and the octopus is its master artisan.
The octopus's mastery of its environment extends beyond camouflage and hunting. It is a creature attuned to the rhythm of the reef itself. Currents, tides, and light patterns are not mere background. They are signals, maps, and guides. The octopus interprets subtle changes in water pressure, the scent of passing prey, or the vibrations of a distant predator with uncanny precision. Each arm acts as both sensor and executor, independently sampling the surroundings, while the central brain orchestrates a coordinated response. It is as if the octopus exists simultaneously as many minds in one body, each arm thinking, tasting, and deciding, yet working toward a unified purpose. Hunting is an exercise in patience and strategy. A typical encounter begins with observation. From the safety of a rock crevice, the octopus studies a crab navigating the sand, noting every flick of its claws and every shadow it casts. When the moment arrives, it does not lunge blindly. Instead, it creeps forward, arms undulating like ribbons, body flattened to the substrate. One arm snakes into a burrow to block the escape route, while another probes from above. The crab's instincts betray it. Arms and claws are met with calculated pressure and precise suction. The octopus isolates, immobilizes, and neutralizes without unnecessary struggle. Venom, delivered through its beak, completes the task quietly, efficiently, leaving no energy wasted. Each kill is a lesson in minimalism, demonstrating that intelligence can outweigh strength. Yet the octopus is not merely a predator, it is an architect and a manipulator of its environment. Shells, rocks, and even discarded human debris are incorporated into dens, barricades, and shelters. Some octopuses have been observed transporting coconut shells and assembling them into protective shelters, demonstrating a level of foresight that borders on engineering. Each den is carefully maintained, entrances reinforced, the interior lined with soft sediment. The octopus's ability to manipulate the physical world underscores its adaptability, allowing it to survive in unpredictable and dangerous landscapes where other species might falter. Camouflage is another art form perfected over millions of years. The octopus's skin contains chromatophores, iridophores, and leucophores, specialized cells that can change color, reflectivity, and even texture in an instant. By controlling these cells, it can mimic coral, sand, rocks, and even other marine animals. Some species, like the mimic octopus, take deception further, imitating lionfish, flatfish, or sea snakes, creating illusions so convincing that predators hesitate or flee. These displays are not random. They are calculated, deliberate acts of survival, exploiting the psychology of other species to avoid confrontation. Intelligence manifests not just in camouflage or hunting, but in problem-solving and memory. Octopuses can navigate mazes, remember locations of prey or shelter, and even open jars to access food. Such feats suggest a capacity for abstract thought, spatial reasoning, and adaptive learning uncommon in invertebrates. Unlike instinct-driven behaviors, these are learned strategies honed over time, shaped by experience. Each encounter, each challenge, adds to the octopus's knowledge, creating a dynamic interplay between the animal and its environment. Social interactions, though limited, reveal further cognitive complexity. While largely solitary, octopuses communicate through body patterns, postures, and changes in skin texture. A sudden darkening might signal aggression or warning. A rhythmic pulse of color can indicate courtship.
Males display bold patterns to attract females, who in turn evaluate the signals with discernment. Reproductive behaviors are fraught with risk, as males approach larger females cautiously, aware that a misstep could mean injury or death. Here, intelligence merges with instinct, guiding behavior in moments of high stakes. The life cycle of the octopus is marked by intensity and impermanence. After mating, females invest extraordinary energy in protecting and nurturing eggs, often ceasing to feed entirely. She fans the eggs with water currents, removes debris, and wards off potential threats. This selfless dedication continues until the eggs hatch, at which point the female, weakened and exhausted, often dies. In these acts, the octopus demonstrates a paradoxical combination of vulnerability and resilience. It is simultaneously fragile in its short lifespan and reproductive mortality, and formidable in its intelligence, adaptability, and ability to shape its surroundings. Predation and survival are constant concerns. Octopuses face sharks, moray eels, large fish, and humans, yet they persist, leveraging every advantage evolution provides. Their arms, lined with sensitive suckers, can manipulate, explore, and escape simultaneously. Their soft bodies squeeze into cracks, fold through spaces smaller than their own diameter, making confinement or capture difficult. Escape is not merely reactive, it is preemptive, a calculation based on perception, speed, and knowledge of the environment. In this, the octopus embodies an ancient wisdom. Survival is a blend of knowledge, stealth, and adaptability. The octopus's role in the ecosystem is subtle yet profound. By preying on crabs, mollusks, and small fish, it regulates population dynamics, maintaining balance in complex reef communities. Its presence influences the behavior and distribution of other species, creating a network of interactions that ripple through the benthic environment. Even after an individual octopus disappears into shadow, its impact persists, visible in the behavior of prey and predators alike. In this, the octopus is both participant and regulator, a quiet architect of ecological equilibrium. Observal the octopus forces a reconsideration of intelligence, strategy, and survival. Here is a creature without bones, without scales, without speed comparable to fish, yet it thrives through cognition, dexterity, and perception. Its arms, simultaneously independent and coordinated, reveal a decentralized intelligence that challenges conventional notions of mind. Its skin, a living canvas of adaptive deception, demonstrates control over both self and environment. Its behavior, precise and deliberate, underscores that power in the ocean is not merely physical, it is mental, strategic, and perceptual. As dusk settles over the reef, light filters in fractured beams, and the octopus retreats to its den, folding its arms with care. Sand and debris shift as it seals its shelter, a testament to both ingenuity and instinct. Life continues around it. The tide carries plankton and currents stir sand, but the octopus remains concealed, a master of patience, adaptability, and subtle power. Its story is not one of brute force or spectacle, but of intelligence applied with precision, of survival woven into the very fabric of its environment. In every movement, every calculated decision, every flicker of color, the octopus reveals the profound complexity of life beneath the waves.
The octopus is an extraordinary example of intelligence manifest in a soft, flexible body. Unlike most animals, it has no skeleton, no rigid structure, and yet it navigates its environment with remarkable precision. Each of its 8 arms functions as an autonomous explorer, lined with hundreds of suckers capable of sensing texture, temperature, and chemical signals. These arms move independently, probing crevices, manipulating objects, and sometimes performing simultaneous tasks. While the central brain coordinates overall behavior, the distributed nerve networks in the arms allow for decentralized decision-making, a form of intelligence that is both physical and mental. Camouflage remains one of the octopus's most striking abilities. Just when you think you understand the octopus, the ocean reveals something even more unsettling. Because hidden within the shifting sands of Southeast Asia's shallow waters lives a creature that doesn't just hide, it becomes something else entirely. This is the mimic octopus, and unlike any other animal in the ocean, it doesn't rely on a single identity to survive. It has many. At first glance, the seabed appears lifeless. Flat sand stretches endlessly, broken only by faint ripples shaped by currents. No rocks, no coral, no obvious shelter. This is a dangerous place to live. There is nowhere to hide, nowhere to disappear. And yet, something is here, watching, waiting. A subtle movement, almost impossible to notice, disturbs the sand. And then, it rises. An octopus, but not like the others. Its arms stretch outward in unnatural patterns. Its body flattens. Its color shifts into alternating bands of dark and light. For a moment, it no longer looks like an octopus at all. It looks like a flatfish. Gliding across the sand, its arms trail behind in perfect symmetry, mimicking the movement of a venomous soul. Predators that rely on experience hesitate because they've seen this shape before, and they've learned not to attack it. This is not simple camouflage. This is imitation. A deliberate, calculated transformation designed not just to hide, but to deceive. The mimic octopus doesn't just blend into its surroundings. It studies its enemies, and then it becomes what they fear most. Moments later, the illusion shifts again. Its body tightens. Two arms extend in opposite directions, banded in sharp black and white stripes. The remaining arms vanish beneath the sand. Now, it resembles something entirely different, a sea snake, one of the ocean's most venomous predators. Fish that might otherwise attack suddenly scatter, retreating in all directions. The mimic octopus doesn't chase them. It doesn't need to. Fear has already done the work.
Unlike animals that rely purely on instinct, the mimic octopus appears to make context-based decisions. If threatened by one type of predator, it chooses one disguise. If faced with another, it selects something entirely different. This suggests something extraordinary. It's not just mimicking randomly, it's choosing. And choice implies intelligence. Scientists believe the mimic octopus and recognize patterns of danger and respond accordingly, selecting the most effective disguise for each situation. In other words, it doesn't just change shape, it makes decisions under pressure. And in the unpredictable world of the ocean, that ability is priceless. But even this incredible skill has limits, because deception requires energy, and mistakes can be fatal. If a predator sees through the illusion, the mimic octopus must rely on its final defense: escape. Its body compresses instantly, arms pulling inward as it jets backward through the water using powerful bursts of propulsion. Ink explodes behind it, forming a dark cloud, confusing, disorienting, buying precious seconds. Seconds that mean survival, and once again, it vanishes. But the story doesn't end there, because the mimic octopus isn't just a solitary trickster of the sand. It plays a role in a much larger system. By preying on small fish and crustaceans, it helps regulate populations in these otherwise exposed environments. Without it, certain species could dominate the sandy plains, disrupting the delicate balance of life. Even in disguise, it shapes the ecosystem around it. And yet, despite its abilities, the mimic octopus remains vulnerable. Larger predators, environmental changes, and human impact all threaten its existence. Pollution clouds the waters it depends on for visibility. Habitat destruction removes the sandy environments it calls home. And climate change alters the very conditions that allow its illusions to work. Because mimicry depends on clarity, on visibility, on perception. If the environment changes too much, even the greatest illusionist can be exposed. Still, for now, it survives, hidden in plain sight, a master of transformation, a strategist of survival, a creature that refuses to be defined by a single form. Because in a world where being seen means being eaten, the mimic octopus has found a different solution. Don't just hide, don't just run, become something else entirely. And as the currents shift and the sand settles once more, the mimic octopus disappears again, not because it is gone, but because it has become something you no longer recognize. But what makes the mimic octopus truly extraordinary is not just what it can become, but how fast it can decide. In the ever-changing world of the ocean floor, danger doesn't announce itself. It appears suddenly. A shadow overhead, a vibration in the sand, a shift in water pressure. And in that instant,
The ocean floor is never truly silent. Even when nothing seems to move, something is always feeding. Because in the depths, nothing goes to waste. And this is where the crabs emerge. not as hunters in the traditional sense, but as something far more essential, something far more unsettling. They are the cleaners of the ocean, the recyclers of death, the silent processors of everything that falls. A dead fish sinks slowly through the water, its body drifting, lifeless, until it touches the seabed. For a moment, nothing happens. Then, the sand begins to move. Tiny shapes appear: claws, legs, antennae, crabs, drawn not by sight, but by chemistry. Because long before the body hits the ocean floor, it has already sent a signal, a chemical message spreading through the water. And the crabs are listening. They arrive from all directions, small ones first, then larger ones, each one competing, not for dominance, but for access. Because in the ocean, a single meal can mean survival or starvation. Their claws begin to work immediately, tearing, breaking, crushing. There is no hesitation, no ritual, only efficiency. The body is dismantled piece by piece, flesh stripped away, bones exposed, until nothing recognizable remains. This is scavenger behavior at its purest form. But what makes it truly important is what happens next. Because the crab is not just consuming energy, it is absorbing everything the body contains, including something far more dangerous: toxins, invisible, odorless, but deadly. Many marine organisms carry toxins within their bodies, either produced internally or accumulated from their diet. When those organisms die, those toxins don't disappear. They remain, locked inside the flesh.
A slow, silent amplification of danger. Top predators, sharks, large fish, even humans, can accumulate the highest levels of toxins, not because they produce them, but because they inherit them through every meal, through every link in the chain. And at the center of this process are creatures like crabs, small, overlooked, but critically important. Because without scavengers, the ocean would collapse under its own waste. Dead matter would pile up, nutrients would remain locked away, ecosystems would suffocate. Crabs prevent that. They break everything down, they return nutrients to the system, they keep the cycle moving. But in doing so, they also carry the burden of everything that enters that system: pollution, heavy metals, toxic compounds released by human activity. All of it eventually sinks. And when it does, the crabs are there. They consume it, absorb it, and unknowingly pass it on. This makes them both essential and vulnerable, because as toxin levels increase in the ocean, the pressure on scavengers grows. Their bodies adapt, but only to a point. Beyond that, even they begin to fail.
And just when the ocean floor seems dominated by scavengers, another creature emerges from the shadows. Slower, heavier, but far more dangerous: the lobster. Unlike the crab, this is not just a recycler of death. This is a survivor built for confrontation. Its body is covered in a hardened shell and armor formed over time through layers of protection, a natural shield against the countless threats that exist in the depths. But armor alone is not enough, because in the ocean, there is always something stronger, something smarter, something waiting for a weakness. The lobster knows this, and that is why it never truly relaxes. Hidden between rocks, inside narrow crevices, it waits. Its long antennae extend outward into the darkness, constantly moving, constantly sensing, because sight is not its primary defense. The lobster lives in a world of chemicals and vibrations. Every movement in the water, every trace of scent, every shift in pressure is information, and the lobster is always listening.
A faint signal drifts through the current. Not food, not danger. Something else, something familiar. Another lobster. They communicate not through sound, but through chemistry, releasing signals into the water that carry meaning, territory, dominance, warning. Even without seeing each other, they understand. And sometimes, that understanding leads to conflict. Two lobsters face each other in the darkness, claws raised, bodies tense. This is not a simple fight. It is a test, a display of strength. Because those claws are not just tools, they are weapons, powerful enough to crush shells, to break bone, to end a fight instantly. But direct combat is risky. Injury in the ocean often means death.
A signal too subtle for most creatures to detect, but not for the lobster. It retreats instantly, backing into its crevice, wedging itself tightly between rocks, positioning its claws at the entrance, ready, waiting, prepared to defend. Because in this confined space, the octopus loses its advantage. There is no room to maneuver, no space to surround, only a narrow opening, guarded by crushing force. And sometimes, that is enough. The octopus moves on, searching for easier prey, and the lobster survives, once again. This constant tension between predator and prey has shaped the lobster over millions of years. Its armor, its claws, its senses, all refined through survival. But the lobster's story doesn't end with defense, because like the crab, it also plays a role in the larger ecosystem. It feeds on a variety of organisms, small fish, mollusks, organic debris, helping maintain balance on the ocean floor. But it is more selective than a scavenger, more deliberate, choosing when to hunt and when to remain hidden. And just like the crab, the lobster is not immune to the hidden dangers of the ocean. Toxins, pollutants, heavy metals, all of it can enter its body through the food it consumes. And over time, these substances accumulate, becoming part of the lobster itself, a silent burden carried within. But perhaps the most fascinating aspect of the lobster is its relationship with growth. Unlike many animals, the lobster does not simply grow gradually. It must shed its shell, a process known as molting. At certain stages of its life, the lobster becomes vulnerable. Its old shell cracks open, and it slowly pulls itself free, emerging soft, exposed, defenseless. For a short period, it has no armor, no protection, only the ability to hide. This is the most dangerous moment in a lobster's life, because if discovered, it cannot fight back. It cannot defend itself. It can only wait until its new shell hardens, until it becomes strong again. And this cycle repeats, again and again, throughout its life. Growth through vulnerability, strength through risk. A constant reminder that even the most protected creatures must face moments of weakness. And yet, despite all of this, the lobster endures. It survives in a world filled with predators, adapts to changing conditions, balances strength with caution, and continues its quiet existence, hidden beneath rocks, moving slowly through the shadows, always aware, always prepared. Because in the ocean, survival is not about being the strongest or the fastest. It is about knowing when to fight and when to disappear. And the lobster has mastered both.
But there is another side to the lobster, one that is rarely seen. Because beneath that hard shell, beneath those powerful claws, there is a constant struggle taking place. A battle not with predators, but with time itself. As the lobster grows, its shell does not. It becomes tighter, restrictive, almost like a prison. And eventually, it has no choice but to break free. The process begins slowly. Pressure builds inside the body. The old shell weakens, cracking along hidden lines. And then, with immense effort, the lobster pulls itself out, claw by claw,
leg by leg, leaving behind the only protection it has ever known. For a brief moment, it is completely exposed, soft, fragile, almost unrecognizable. Even its movements change, slower, more cautious, because now everything is a threat. Even the smallest predator can become deadly. So the lobster disappears, retreating deeper into its shelter, avoiding all contact, waiting. Hours pass, sometimes days, as the new shell begins to harden, layer by layer, strength returning, protection rebuilding, until once again, it becomes the armored survivor of the ocean floor. But not every lobster survives this transformation. Some are discovered too soon, caught in their most vulnerable state. A reminder that in the ocean, growth always comes with risk, and survival is never guaranteed.
And just when the ocean floor seems to return to silence, another presence begins to reveal itself, not by movement, but by stillness. A narrow crevice between rocks, dark, uninviting, lifeless. At least that's what it seems. Until something shifts, a slow, almost imperceptible motion. A head emerges, eyes fixed, unblinking. This is the moray eel. It does not roam the ocean like other predators. It does not chase. It does not waste energy. Instead, it waits, hidden within the reef, its long body coiled deep inside the safety of stone, only its head exposed to the outside world, watching, measuring, timing everything with precision. To most creatures, this crevice appears empty, safe, a place to explore. But that illusion is exactly what the moray eel depends on, because in the ocean, danger often hides in plain sight. A small fish drifts closer, curious, unaware. The water is calm, nothing seems wrong. And then, in less than a second, everything changes. The moray eel strikes. Its jaws snap forward with explosive speed, grabbing the prey before it has time to react. But what happens next is what makes this predator truly unique, because the first bite is only the beginning. Deep inside its throat, a second set of jaws waits, hidden, silent, unseen. These are known as pharyngeal jaws, and they move forward from inside the eel's body, grasping the prey, pulling it deeper into the throat, ensuring there is no escape.
Not because of poison, but because of bacteria. The eel's mouth contains microorganisms that can cause serious infection. A wound that may seem minor can quickly become dangerous. In the ocean, even small injuries carry risk, and the moray eel is a perfect example of that hidden danger. But the eel is not always alone. In some rare moments, it forms unexpected partnerships, working together with other predators, such as groupers, a silent cooperation. The grouper signals, and the eel responds. One hunts in open water, the other within the reef. Together, they corner prey that neither could catch alone. It is a level of interaction that challenges everything we expect. Predators not competing, but collaborating. And in that cooperation, they increase their chances of survival. But even with all these adaptations, the moray eel cannot escape the larger forces affecting the ocean. Pollution, habitat destruction, changes in temperature, all of it impacts the delicate balance of the reef. And when the reef suffers, so does the eel. Because without the protection of crevices, without the flow of prey, without the structure of its environment, it cannot survive. It is a predator, but also dependent, tied completely to the world it inhabits, a world that is constantly changing. And yet, despite all of this, the moray eel remains a silent hunter, a hidden presence, a creature that thrives not through speed or strength, but through patience, precision, and perfect timing.
It does not need to dominate the ocean. It only needs to understand it. And in the narrow spaces between rock and shadow, it has done exactly that. Because sometimes, the most dangerous predator is the one you never see coming.
But there is something even more unsettling about the moray eel. Something that goes beyond its hidden jaws, beyond its sudden strikes, and deep into the way it exists within the reef. Because the moray eel does not simply live in its environment, it becomes part of it. Its skin, unlike most fish, is smooth, scaleless, covered in a thick layer of mucus. At first glance, this may seem insignificant, but in the ocean, every detail matters. This mucus acts as protection, a barrier against parasites, a shield against bacteria, and even a form of lubrication, allowing the eel to slide effortlessly through narrow spaces where other predators cannot go. Places too tight, too complex, too dangerous. But for the moray eel, these spaces are pathways, safe routes through a world filled with threats. And inside these hidden tunnels, it moves like a shadow, unseen, unnoticed, until it decides to appear. But its advantage is not just physical, it is sensory, because the moray eel does not rely heavily on vision. In the dim light of the reef, eyes can be deceiving. Instead, it trusts something far more reliable.
Its sense of smell, highly developed, extremely sensitive, capable of detecting even the faintest chemical trace in the water. A wounded fish, a struggling organism, even a distant movement can leave behind a trail, and the eel can follow it. Not quickly, not aggressively, but patiently, tracking it back to its source. Because for the moray eel, hunting is not a chase. It is a process, a slow, deliberate approach towards certainty. And once that certainty is achieved, the strike is inevitable. But what happens when the hunter becomes exposed? What happens when the eel is forced out of its crevice into open water? This is where the balance shifts. In open space, the eel loses its advantage. Its long body, so effective in tight spaces, becomes a limitation. It cannot turn as quickly, cannot accelerate as fast. And in those moments, it becomes vulnerable. Larger predators may take interest. Sharks, groupers, even other eels. Because in the ocean, there is no permanent role, can become prey. And the moray eel knows this, which is why it rarely leaves the safety of its territory. It has no need to explore, no need to take unnecessary risks. Everything it requires comes to it, through patience, through positioning, through time. But perhaps the most fascinating element of the moray eel is its relationship with darkness. Because as daylight fades, its world begins to expand. At night, the reef changes. Diurnal creatures retreat. Nocturnal ones emerge. And the moray eel becomes more active, more confident, moving further from its crevice, exploring areas it would avoid during the day. This is when it hunts more aggressively, using the cover of darkness to approach prey undetected. Its movements become fluid, continuous, a silent glide through the water. And in that darkness, its presence becomes even more difficult to detect. A predator perfectly adapted to a world without light. But even in darkness, there are risks, because other nocturnal predators exist, each one relying on its own strategy, its own senses, its own methods of survival. And sometimes, their paths cross. A moment of tension, a silent standoff. Two predators, both aware of each other, both calculating, because in such encounters, the outcome is never guaranteed. One mistake, one miscalculation can change everything. And so, most of the time, they avoid conflict, choosing distance over danger. Because survival is not about proving dominance, it is about continuing to exist. But the moray eel's role in the ecosystem goes beyond hunting, because like every predator, it helps maintain balance, controlling populations, preventing any single species from becoming too dominant, ensuring that the reef remains stable, functional, alive. Remove predators like the moray eel, and the system begins to shift. Prey populations increase, competition rises, resources become limited, and slowly, the balance begins to break. This is the unseen importance of predators, not just as hunters, but as regulators, as stabilizers, as essential components of a much larger system.
The ocean floor stretches like an endless canvas of sand and shadow. But hidden beneath that surface lies a predator unlike any other: the stingray. At first glance, it may appear harmless, flat, silent, almost passive. Its movements smooth, almost elegant, like a piece of living silk drifting along the seabed. Yet within that elegance lurks a power that demands respect. The stingray is a master of camouflage. Its body, perfectly flattened, allows it to merge seamlessly with the sandy ocean floor. A predator in plain sight. A ghost. Its color matches the substrate, mottled browns, soft tans, sometimes faint grays. And when it wishes, it disappears completely. Buried beneath a thin layer of sand, with only its eyes and spiracles exposed, the stingray becomes nearly invisible. Its spiracles, small openings just behind the eyes, allow it to breathe without revealing itself. A subtle adaptation that lets it monitor the water above, waiting, watching, silently anticipating.
The currents brush against its body, tiny particles of sand settling over its back. A perfect disguise, a master of deception. And when it finally moves, the water shifts, the sand dances, and life on the ocean floor continues, unaware of the silent predator gliding above. Because in the ocean, appearances are never what they seem. Predators lurk beneath the calm. Venom hides in elegance, and every shadow could be waiting. Every ripple could be a sign. The stingray's story is one of subtlety, of survival, of interconnectedness. It teaches us that danger is not always visible, power is not always loud, and patience can be the most lethal weapon of all. Its presence is a reminder that beneath the calm surface, life is constantly negotiating, balancing, surviving. And so, the stingray glides, flat against the sand, eyes open, tail ready, venom poised. A silent guardian of the ocean floor, a predator in plain sight, a creature perfectly adapted to a world of shadows.
Beneath the shifting tides, the stingray remains a master of subtlety. Its flat, disc-like body hugs the contours of the ocean floor, perfectly synchronized with the undulating currents. Sand drifts over its back like a veil, concealing its presence from both predator and prey alike. Every movement is deliberate, measured, almost imperceptible. It is a creature of patience, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Its diet is as varied as the seafloor itself. Small fish, crabs, clams, and other invertebrates all fall within its reach. Using electroreceptors embedded in its snout, the stingray can sense the faintest electric pulses emitted by hidden prey. Even if a crab is buried beneath several inches of sand, the stingray knows precisely where it lies. A sudden flick of its disc-like pectoral fins, a surge of speed, and the unsuspecting creature is trapped beneath its crushing jaws. Yet feeding is not just about survival, it is also about shaping the ecosystem. By consuming benthic organisms, stingrays regulate populations of mollusks and crustaceans, preventing overpopulation and promoting ecological balance. As they sift through sand and sediment, they also aerate the seafloor, creating microhabitats that benefit smaller organisms. In this way, even a predator as seemingly solitary as the stingray plays a vital role in sustaining the reef's intricate web of life. Despite its efficiency, the stingray must remain vigilant. Sharks, larger fish, and even certain marine mammals view it as potential prey. In response, its tail spine, a formidable weapon lined with venom, acts as both shield and deterrent. A single strike can inflict intense pain, sometimes lethally so, discouraging would-be attackers. For humans, encounters with stingrays can be shocking, though rarely fatal. Often, incidents occur when swimmers inadvertently step too close, unaware of the creature lying just beneath the surface. These moments serve as stark reminders of nature's hidden dangers and the respect required when entering a wild environment.
Stingrays are also remarkable in their social behaviors. Some species aggregate in small groups, particularly during mating season. Males follow females with a graceful, circling courtship dance, nudging and entwining in silent communication. Each movement carries meaning, a ritual honed by generations to ensure reproductive success. When offspring are born, they are miniature versions of the adults, fully equipped to survive independently, a testament to nature's efficiency and the stingray's evolutionary design. Yet perhaps the most captivating aspect of the stingray is its duality, lethal and elegant, hidden yet dominant. It glides over the ocean floor, blending into the sand while maintaining awareness of every movement above. Its eyes, perched atop its head, survey the world with quiet vigilance. Its tail, armed and ready, waits as a last line of defense. In this balance of grace and danger, the stingray embodies the delicate equilibrium of the marine ecosystem, an enduring, silent force that reminds us of the ocean's hidden wonders. And as the sun filters through the waves, casting shifting patterns across the seafloor, the stingray continues its quiet vigilance, patient, poised, and perfectly adapted to life in the shadows.
Wow, friends. Today we explored so many fascinating things about stingrays. Personally, what I found most interesting was how these creatures can blend perfectly into the sand with their flat, disc-shaped bodies and detect prey using those incredible electroreceptors. Seriously, seeing this natural mechanism in action is mind-blowing. And their tail spine? Such a perfect defense system, deadly yet elegant. The balance between grace and danger is what I found most intriguing. I also found it amazing how stingrays aren't just predators, but play a vital role in the marine ecosystem. They aerate the sand, create microhabitats, and help regulate benthic organism populations. It really shows how complex and interconnected ocean life is, and how even a single species can have a big impact. Now, I want to ask you, if you enjoyed this video, comment below and tell me what you'd like to learn more about. Do you want to see more about their hunting techniques in detail? Or their social behavior and mating rituals? Or maybe the challenges they face in conservation and human interactions? Your feedback will help me create more detailed videos that are both interesting and informative. And of course, if you liked this video and want to explore more amazing facts about marine life and nature, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you get notified whenever I post a new video. Your support helps me continue making content like this, and it really means a lot. Finally,
Thank you so much for watching. Your support and feedback are invaluable for my channel. I've tried my best to make this content both entertaining and educational. I hope you enjoyed this journey as much as I enjoyed making it. Stay tuned for the next video, where we'll dive even deeper into the fascinating secrets of the marine world. Until then, stay curious, keep exploring, and thanks for watching.